What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Reviews here, back at it again with another video. Back-to-back uploads as promised from my top 5 battles deserving of a YouTube drop yesterday from the URL app. I'm definitely going to tag this at the end of the video, but for those of you that haven't seen that, pretty good little video, do a little bit more topic-based stuff than usual, but I did promise you guys, as I was recording it, I saw all of Redemption 2 dropped, and I put out a little poll, you know what I'm saying, what battles did you guys want reviewed, and I said I plan on doing 2, and the top 2 winners were Suge and Slade, kind of by a lot, and then Chef Trez and John John. So expect Chef Trez and John John, you know what I'm saying, in the coming days, probably tomorrow, to be honest with you. We're going to go probably for 3 in a row, but as you guys can see by the title, this is the Kid Slade versus Shotgun Suge battle review. Basic, just 3-round battle review, breaking down everything bar for bar, factors around the battle, what I just see, and just giving you an in-depth reasoning on how I called this battle. In my opinion, watching it too, I actually think this was the best battle on the card. I had heard Loso versus T-Top was pretty clearly battle of the night, and that was a decent battle in itself. I thought it was a pretty solid, debatable outing. And then you got this battle here to me. You got 2 guys that actually gave great performances. Very impressed with Suge in this battle. Impressed with Slade as well. And just a few different things I just think, besides the obvious reasons why this is why this battle to talk about. This would have been the battle to talk about even if it was extremely, extremely clear, 3-0 body bag style, which isn't what happened going in. So, without further ado, let's just start out from the top of the first round, breaking down this battle. So, Shotgun Suge would start off in this battle, lead off every round, and then his first round, he very blatantly gets down to the point of what we're doing here. He has this disclaimer opener, oh, just for y'all to know, any drugs or guns talked about in this battle is for entertainment purposes only. Definitely a funny little way of getting at Slade. And just comes right out working the angle about him being a rat. And he doesn't land, actually, besides the disclaimer bar, he doesn't really land a direct bar for the first, 8 to 12 in. But then he lands, this is how I knew Nunu had a gambling problem. She's out here trying to back a rat. I like that. That is extremely creative. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was super duper fire, the back rap bar. Then he gets into you was a Connecticut pointing him out like Kemba Walker, but it's still Kemba Walker. I'm shooting at a Yukon. I really like that. Thought that was fire. Barry, extremely aggressive, which we expect from Suge on the stage, but he gets off a bar. Barry, you and your bitch in the 6'9" position. Getting into that flow, that yeah, and just that ultra aggression. So everything's hitting at this point about halfway through the first. Holt 4-5 above him. You should have pled the 5th the first time. Another super haymaker. So while there's good writing in between, you have the back rap bar, you have the pled the 5th the first time bar. Kid Slade out the front door like Home Alone. I thought that was decent. Has a little bit of a dry spot there afterwards, which is still a really good first, but he definitely has a clip where he doesn't fully hit. And then he gets back to working the snitch angle, obviously, which is really going to be the whole basis of this battle. Some people could say it's a little bit too much in the angle, but we all knew it was coming. I think any other top tier that got this would have worked the angle for 3 rounds. This is not very surprising. He is the Charleston White bar, which is dope. And then he has a couple bars at the end. You one of them NFL dudes in the field, mic'd up. Thought that was fire. And then 2 to his chest, 1 to his gut. I turned the plug to a 3-prong. And I think that 3-prong bar is kind of where we're seeing that evolution in Suge's writing. I think that's it's not like one of the standout haymakers like the NFL bar, like the back rap bar, like the pled the 5th the first time bar, but it definitely is extremely creative, you know what I'm saying, the 3-prong. Extreme fan of that. So Suge has a very, very powerful first to start off the battle, and then it goes to Slade, and Slade does something smart, but not the smartest way possible. We all knew Slade had to counter right for this battle. We all know he had to adjust the angle and probably use it to flip the momentum back his way, but the problem is that while he did counter right, and I can't say it was bad what he did, right? He did the right thing, but he spends over half of his first counter-writing, but really just talking about the angle, repeating the same thing he's repeated in interviews, and doesn't really use it to, at the end, flip and throw a bar at Suge. So it's really just him explaining his situation, which for us that are super tapped in, we've heard him explain his situation a lot, right? So it just, without any real attempt to attack the opponent, anything like that, he spends over half the round just talking about the angle. So that's not the best way to address it. Then he ends up finally leading up to I got shotgun in the window like a hillbilly. That was fire and it hit fire. They gonna have to make a GoFundMe for somebody they can't go find. That was fire. The whole have my homie slide down on the flag like Jackie Chan. He had the rush hour bar in there. So the second half of his first where he's really rapping is very good. He just took so long to start rapping. The Azkaban, Dirty Rights like Zataran, Silencer sound like a Tesla revving up. There's a lot of good content in the second half of this first, but it's only in the second half, sadly. He took the counter writing opportunity, not really to push back, but just kind of talk, which you need to do a little bit more at the counter writing. So decent first from Slade, but I did have Suge very clearly 1-0 after the first. Then we get on to the second round, which I know is much more of where the interesting conversation here lies. I think it should just be uniform that Suge got the first, clear as hell, and the app stats read that. I know everyone's read that. It was said in the building from those that were in there. So then you get into the second round, and Suge once again starts off the second working the snitch angle right again. Which is what he's supposed to do in this situation. Now, some people are going to say it's drawn out, and really a lot of that just depends on how Slade responds to it, right? So in the first round, it worked out because Suge delivered it, executed it well, and Slade took half of his round to talk about the angle without really throwing any shots till over halfway through the round. So then after working it, he said, you was a sports commentator. You was giving it to him play-by-play. That was dope. In the courtroom saying, yes, ma'am, smack. Is this your new Gunna? Obviously, Gunna has the footage saying, yes, ma'am, in the courtroom. That hit crazy. He had the affidavit, I'm going after David bar. Once again, just like the three-prong. It's not the haymaker, but it's all that little in-between writing. It's just why Suge is such a different talent now than he was a few years ago. He did not have the ability to, in between his haymakers, write little jabs that even though you're not scoring three, like you score three, let's say, right? Haymaker, one 3 points. So you score 3, 1, 2, 3, as opposed to 3, dry spot, haymaker, dry spot. Complete evolution of the man's style, and I think across all 3 rounds, he's once again showing in this battle, probably my favorite Suge I've seen from 2023 so far, just how much he's improved. Then he has you was pointing at dudes like Uncle Sam and giving somebody's Uncle Tom, crazy. He gets into his what's your life like segment, which actually was a pretty dry version of it, I can't lie. Once again, obviously working the stitch angle, but not too powerful, no crazy haymakers out of it at the end. He says the only street rule I broke was to trust a bitch. That was dope. And then he has a little convo with Smack. Talk about, I risk my integrity just to get this message to you. If Smack stands for the streets, then why are we booking him? Definitely something I think a few people saw coming, delivered pretty decently at that, and overall a really, really good second round. Shout out to my guy 3 Letterman. I know that he said he liked his second more than Suge's first, so a lot of things to love from Suge's second. Personally, still think his first is probably the best round of the battle at that, and his best round of the battle. So you get into the second round on Slade, and this is where it gets interesting. Slade, similar how Suge opens up with the snitch angle the second again, Slade opens up addressing his personal fans, addressing the angle much shorter than the first round, but definitely addresses it again, and then gets into you all remember the old bag of green soldiers, of army men, my soldiers play their position no matter what. I like that, the little standstill army men that come in the one position that you can't move, shoot up your whole family tree, bust the whole family, but you're not a Laker. Obviously, the Bust family runs the Lakers. That was dope. 5,500 took more food stamps than Brett Favre. That was fire. The Brett Favre bar hit crazy. Dope, the same complexion of Pat Mahomes. Definitely gets into the plug talk more at the end of the second round. Night Vision got everything looking like a Game Boy 1. By the time he hit that bar, that's when I realized this is a close round to me. This is kind of a debatable round to me. And then gets into you can't dunk in real life, which was kind of funny. And then he said, you can dunk in death, though, because 6 feet is regulation. So definitely a really good second from Slade. He's definitely more in the bar-for-bar side of this battle. It's not just him counter-writing masterclass or him angling or being ultra-aggressive. He just really wrote really well. And in this second, I can't lie, especially by the time he hit the Brett Favre, the Game Boy 1 bar, I did prefer some of his peak punches. I thought that he got a little bit more down, even in the in-between stuff. And for that, I actually edged. It's a very debatable second round, but I did personally edge Slade the second round of the battle. So as you get into the third round here, we start off on Suge again, and he has once again addressing working the angle, but this time kind of talking about how Slade was supposed to fight Rock, saying y'all were supposed to fight, y'all didn't at the hotel, but then when it didn't go down, you blame people, look at you, pointing fingers again. Thought that was a real good way to bring the angle back and use it again without using it just specifically on the situation to do with the paperwork. Then gets into some trap talk, which we know the real talk and all that is in Suge's arsenal. When I was trapping, I was the plug and the muscle like Scarface. That was cool. The cool runnings bar is very good. Don't want to butcher the setup here, but he did have a good one. Something about Slade, you know what I'm saying? Slade, cool runnings. He had this Michael Jackson scheme talking about I think Michael Jackson's like pedophilia case. Talk about the Neverland. He mentioned Neverland, a couple other references, and then you can't trust the kid around Mike. You know, kid Slade around Mike. Kids around Mike. So that was really good. Dan gets into the you ever buck 50'd someone and then shave coke with the same razor. That was fire. That was foul king. You was on cam pointing on cam like Patrick Beverly. Foul king. You know, when Tatum fouled LeBron a couple weeks ago, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the game, Pat Bev was bitching on the camera. So that was dope. And then the ending one, I don't want to get the setup butchered, but it was this shit is kid tested and mother approved. That hit like a haymaker at the end of his third. And I think Suge's third is his weakest round. I do think Suge's third is good though. Like I said, I like the buck 50 bar. I like the foul king bar. I like the kid tested and mother approved. So especially that second half of his third, I like. Definitely his shortest round. And I saw a lot of people have him losing this round clear, and I don't like Slade's third, all right? So I like he opens up with the taco. Y'all ever seen a Taco Bell Long John Silver? I get my fish from the Mexicans. That was definitely cool. Talk about like the combined restaurants. Does a little angle going at Suge for his gangbanging. Why are you repping great when it's across the country? You know, we've heard this before. And then he says, but I think because you grabbed that flag because you were scared of a little contact. So the flag football bar, I thought that was fire. Problem is, though, I thought he got into a pretty lengthy dry spot after that. I mean, I would damn near say the most notable dry spot of the battle. So as much as I like Kid Slade's third round peaks, which we'll even talk about more, there's a really evident dry spot between the flag football bar and then the other football bars. Stomach shot, y'all don't know what's coming out of shotgun, like it's a read option. That was fire. Fuck up shotgun like a high snap. So he actually has three very good football bars. A lot of good football bars in this battle. Suge has the mic'd up one in the first. Slade has this little triplet in the third. And then his last great bar of the battle, which was a great bar, probably his most known and will be his best bar of the battle. Only paperwork I put people away on was obituaries. That was super fire as well. Then towards the after that, you kind of notice he doesn't choke, but you notice him starting to forget his material. You can just visually see him stumbling through it a little bit, remembering as he goes, kind of running a line back right after he said it, just to keep catching himself in the material. And I would say I really enjoy Slade's third. Some people are saying it's his best round. I personally think Slade's second is the most complete, the most back-to-back. He has some peaks here that I love in the third. I love the shotgun read option bar, right? I love the obituaries bar. But like I said, he's forgetting his material a little towards the end. The delivery shaky. He has that dry spot in between the football bars, which was really, really noticeable for me. And once again, like the second, I think this is a debatable round. So with the second and third being debatable, I do think it's a debatable battle. Truthfully, I think the metrics are reading that. I don't think that he just got cleared in the second and the third. But I will say I did actually think Suge was a little more complete, even though with the shorter round. And I did actually edge shotgun Suge the third round, giving him the battle 2-1. And that is, my review for Shotgun Suge versus Kid Slade. Might be a little controversial just because there's a lot of people that think this battle's clear. It's very dividing the way you call it. And this all comes down to the angle, right? And this is something that I'll say here and I'll say any other part. This is a bar-for-bar review. This is me judging all forms of battle rap. There is some people that had Kid Slade losing this battle after the first round because it's an angle that has truth to it, an angle that people believe in battle rap. If it has any truth to it, it is an automatic loss for you going forward if it's mentioned. And Suge executed it well. So you could really debate here, especially in the second and the third being debatable. I'm seeing people say Suge 3-0. Slade did not clearly win a round. There's nothing wrong with having Suge 3-0. I know a few people that have Suge 3-0. He won the first clear and the second and third are debatable. So it's more than a viable option to say that Suge won. Shit, I have Suge winning. As you just heard, I have him edging the third round, and I have him clearly winning the first round. But if you're someone that's going to look past, and we're at this point, because Slade is here, right? So people are like, oh, how could you even judge him? Well, he's going to continue battling, and it looks like continue battling top tiers. So am I just going to say, oh, he automatically lost every single battle? No, if he's up here, man, on media, I'm gonna break down the bars, and if you go bar for bar, his second and his third has some undeniably really, really good content. I think if he didn't OD counter right in the first, he would have had a chance to possibly even make the first close, because the second half of his first, like I said, is very, very good. Although Suge's first was like really great, and the first interpretation of the angle post rock, really the only good interpretation we got so far. So maybe lose that first either way, but there's no denying I think Slade is competitive here. I don't know how you can watch it and see the night vision like game look like I'm playing Game Boy 1, the obituaries, the football bars in the third, and just act like he didn't write well. I know some people said he almost got bodied in the building, things of that nature. I have to be fair. I do genuinely think this is a debatable battle. And if someone calls it Slade 2 and 3, I think there's an argument for it. But for me, like I said, I think this is a very good Suge performance. This had nothing to take away from Suge. I think he was as good as advertised in the building. One of my more, out of this whole run of Suge going back to last year, I think this is one of my more favorite Suges across 3 rounds. I just think Slade was really good too. And that's why I think this was the battle of the night. From Redemption 2, from what I've watched. Only battle that I haven't fully watched back yet is John and Chef Trez, which, as you guys know, I will be doing a review for that tomorrow. So right after this video, I'm going to go study up really hard on that. But do have Shotgun Suge 2-1, my favorite battle from Redemption 2. You guys let me know down in the comments below. Do you think this was the battle of the night, and who did you personally have winning from it? As well as, like and subscribe. But really dope battle, man. Shout out to Suge. Really great start to his 2023, continuing that momentum from 2022. And now, pretty good battle with Sheed, right? We haven't seen it yet, but I heard it was, solid, although the crowd was dead. He's got Shuni coming up on Kings versus Queens. And many people are probably going to call this a win here, but no matter how you call it, it's a very good performance versus Kid Slade. But it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. And I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.